Welcome to learning how to properly auscultate. First, let's begin with making ourselves familiar with the different parts of the stethoscope. Here is the stethoscope. Beginning at the top, we have the earpiece. We use this piece in our ears to have the best results when hearing the heart and lung auscultations. The earpieces are attached to the tubing, which will eventually bring us to the diaphragm. The diaphragm is the circular metal piece at the end of the stethoscope that we place to the heart and allows us to hear what's going on inside the body. Now that we know what makes up the stethoscope, let's put it to use. Now we will look at where we can place the diaphragm to properly hear the heart. Within the rib cage, in the second intercostal space, you'll find the first auscultation site. We will label that A for now. Then, directly in line with the first auscultation site but left of the sternum, you'll find our second auscultation site. We will label this B. In the fourth intercostal space, we will label our third auscultation site C, and below that, in the fifth intercostal space, near the center of the rib, you'll find auscultation site D. Now, when deciphering the different auscultation sites, you may use All Patients Take Medicine to remember that auscultation site A is the aortic valve, auscultation site B is the pulmonary valve, auscultation site C is the tricuspid valve, and auscultation site D is the mitral valve. Now that we know the part of the stethoscope and the auscultation sites, let's test it out on a living person. If you recall, to find the aortic valve, I must locate the second intercostal space to my patient's right of her sternum. Then, if I follow my mnemonic, All Patients Take Medicine, I'll find myself at auscultation site B, the pulmonary valve, directly right of the aortic valve along the left side of her sternum. Moving onto the tricuspid valve in the fourth intercostal space, and then onto the mitral valve in the fifth intercostal space towards the center of my patient's ribs.